All right, so this knife that's video is going to be on this knife, kind of camouflage there. This is the GR Knives Navette. So this knife is from Knives of France. Stefan did send this to me along with a knife that I purchased from Knives of France, which I also will have a video on. But this is the Navette from GR Knives. And what is GR Knives? Well, they're kind of tough to find info on. They don't have a social media presence, but basically GR Knives is a brand of Tierra Isard. And I try real hard to pronounce these names correctly, and please forgive my incompetence at it, but it's a brand of Tierra Isard, and it is, GR stands for Gia's Rainwater, and I'm sure I'm not pronouncing that very well, but that's actually the person who owns the overall company's name. So Gia's started working in the knife industry at age 12, and then in 1985 he purchased Tierra Isard, and now Tierra Isard includes several brands. There's a couple different brands like this, the GR knives. There's a kitchen knife brand, some razors. So it's been successful, and this is one of their pocket knives. So it's now run by people named Sandra and Eric Keller, but it's an older brand from France, and they make some of their knives like this in a really classic way. So this is a classic pen knife. So you can see that it has a nice, classic, simple spear point as the main blade, and there you can see the name of the knife, Navette, and GR Knives France, and then there is again GR Inox, and then it has as the secondary blade a little pen blade with no markings. So really classic pen knife, you could say, multi-blade, just kind of the prototypical with the spear point and then the pen secondary. But the thing that really drew me to this knife are these beautiful horn handles. I mean, look at that. That is just great. I want to show you that up close. Look at all that character. Look at those nice lines, the different colors. You've got some brownish, some white, the dark, the gray. Just really beautiful. And this one doesn't have any issues with cracking or anything like that. GEC, Gradation Cutlery, which is kind of the most loved or appreciated American-made traditional knives. Of course, Case is much better known, but in the knife circles, GEC is really well respected. They won't even use horn anymore because they've had issues with it. So it's really unique. It's really difficult to get a knife in horn like this from an American company, and if you do, it's going to be really expensive. This knife is not really expensive. It is about $60. So really inexpensive as knives like this go. I mean, certainly there are more inexpensive knives if you buy from Rough Rider or something like that, but this is not a knife that's gonna cost in the hundreds of dollars. It's right around $60, and you get this really cool, unique handle material in the horn, and it's actually made really well too. It's not, I would say, GEC quality. There are some gaps, as you can see, on both sides of the spring. It's kind of rough on the inside, and with the liners, the pins, there's maybe a little bit high. You can see that pin's a little bit high, but no real practical issues. So you can open this knife, there's no play. It is going to cut really well. It actually is ground really thinly, more like a vintage knife. So it does cut really well. And then you've got the pen blade. Now the pen blade, that nail nick is very close to the blade well, so you're not going to be able to drop that kick very much without losing access to the pen blade, unless you do some sort of easy open notch. And the tip of the pen blade sits pretty close. It's not proud actually, but pretty close. But for me, when I carry and use a knife like this, I'm almost always using the main blade and the pen blade is kind of a backup. So you probably won't use this pen blade enough that you have to sharpen it enough that it will raise that tip up enough that you would have to drop the kick and then would, you know, have trouble getting at the nail nick. So I don't think it's really a practical issue. The action is beautiful. I'll show you that again. Snaps open really nicely and snaps closed really nicely, and same deal on the pen blade. Nice sound, nice walk and talk, really nice action. Really impressed by the action on this knife. So for me, the main thing that drew me to this knife again is this horn handle, and everyone that I've shown this knife has really appreciated the horn. People just tend to find it really interesting and really pretty. So I think that it's really worth the cost of entry, to be completely honest. Like I say, you can't really get a horn handled knife or traditional knife from an American company anywhere, and if you do, you know, it's going to be tough and probably really expensive. So to be able to get a knife in horn, you know, that's made in classic styling, you know, with maybe a little bit rough but certainly passable, you know, certainly good quality, it's really, I think, worth jumping on it if you are interested in a knife in horn handles. I'm really happy with it. I actually I made a video on this knife and wasn't happy with the video, with the quality of the video, and you know, knew I was going to make another one, but my mom saw the video on this knife and said she really wanted it. She just thinks it's I think she said the prettiest knife that she's ever seen. So I'm probably going to give this one to my mom. And I think that it would be a great knife to give as a gift, you know, nice little knife that you could, you know, have on your desk to open mail, carry in your purse, carry in your watch pocket. And it does come with a little slip. So that's a nice thing. So you can put it in your purse or your backpack or something and not have to worry about these beautiful handles getting scratched up too much. So I think that this is a really cool little knife, made well enough, made with classic styling, made in France, and with a handle material that is tough to find elsewhere, and certainly tough to find, impossible to find, I would say, at this price, which is only around $60. So if you would like to get this knife, you can get it from Knives of France. You can use my code Knife Thoughts to get a discount. I believe it's 10% on orders of $50 or more. So, you know, you can get a little bit off of this knife. I think it brings it to $58, something like that. You know, right around $60. But definitely get it from Knives of France and use my code. That way Stefan knows that you watched the video here. And again, thank you to Stefan. I really appreciate it. It's been cool to get these French knives into my collection. I really appreciate having knives from other places. Real quick, speaking of other knives, I want to give you some comparisons. So here is the Navette next to a Gratian Cutlery number 15, and then a Case Trapper. So you can see it's a little smaller than the 15, very easy to carry, a lot smaller than the Trapper. And then real quick, why not, I'll give you a comparison to one of my other knives from Knives of France, my other knife in horn, Le Sabot. So you can see that the Navette is quite a bit smaller, more refined, more of a gentleman's knife than this one. So I've really enjoyed this knife. I don't think I'm going to be able to keep it. I'm going to have to give it to my mom, but I think that it's a great opportunity to get a horn handled knife into your collection and to try a French knife. So thank you to Stefan for sending this along. Thank you for watching. I have been thinking a lot about how much I appreciate everyone following along, supporting Knife Thoughts. It really means a lot. So thank you very much for watching. I appreciate it. And if you did enjoy this video, make sure you give it a thumbs up. If you have any comments, please leave them. And make sure you subscribe to the channel, click the bell, and select all so you know when I post new videos. And check out my website, knifethoughts.com, where I post articles on knives like this and knife-related topics. And last but not least, as always, don't forget to go out and do good.